Hey, boys and girls. I was looking through the slides for Thursday and I realized that Mrs. Pruitt only left you this slide that you see right now, which would require you to be able to read the directions so you'll know what to do. And I was thinking that maybe you might not have an adult handy that can read it for you because mom and dad might be busy trying to do their job. So I've decided to come in and create a video walking you through what you need to do today so you can just go ahead and be independent and do the work on your own. We're going to be using PebbleGo for media today. This is a resource that we're going to be using a lot now that science is starting. I'm going to use it in my science lessons, and Mrs. Roberts is going to use it for the Science MIT. So what I want you to do is when you're in this screen right now, you're going to come up to the blue words, PebbleGo, and you're going to click on that. That is going to take you to the PebbleGo website. I'm going to move my cursor all the way up to this green button over here that says sign in and click on it. Now, my computer has already saved the username and the password, so you're going to have to type this in. This first bar at the top is the username, and that's just BMM in all lowercase letters. The second bar down here is our password, and that is school, SCHOOL. You don't have to worry about remembering that because if you come back to Miss Pruitt's directions, right down here in the bottom corner, you can see click on sign in, and then it tells you the username and the password. So after you've typed in BMM and school, click go. Now it's going to take you to the PebbleGo home page. You're going to see that there are a lot of different nonfiction books in here. And if you remember from our lessons, nonfiction means informative, true facts. These are books about real topics with real facts. So we have animals, we have science, and there's all kinds of different science concepts covered under that. There is a section on biographies, which are the true stories about people who have helped our country and society, and maybe our famous inventors or famous artists or famous politicians, famous African Americans and Hispanic Americans, lots of interesting people to read about. You scroll down a little bit down here, it's social studies. So there's lots of different topics about social studies in here. And then the last category is dinosaurs. What we're going to be focused on for today's lesson from Miss Pruitt, and every time you come in for Mrs. Roberts or Mr. Warholic, we're going to be going to the line on animals. Now, that doesn't mean you can't come to this during daily 5 rotation time when you want to listen to some reading. You can log into PebbleGo the same way, and then you can look at some of these other categories for listen to reading time. But today, and in science class, and with Miss Roberts, this is what we're going to be looking at. So I'm going to click on the orange bar for animals, and it brings up all these different books about animals. Now, if I come back to what Miss Pruitt wants, if I move down here to the next page, this is the form that she wants you to fill out. So you're going to use this graphic organizer to learn about, she has wetlands in here in the middle. So you can just decide to go and click on wetlands, or you can pick one of the habitats. And I'm going to tell you which ones you can use in a second and which ones I don't want you looking at because they're not found here in North Carolina. So we'll talk about this form in a second. So if I come back to PebbleGo, I can see there's all these different books about animals. And if I come across the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, we get to animal habitats. And if I click on that, it shows me all of the different habitats that are located on our world. So if I start right here, it's desert animals, then it's grasslands, then it's ocean, then it's polar, then it's a rainforest, and back down here at the bottom, it's wetlands, and then woodland. Now, these habitats can be found all over the world, but some of them, well, and some of them are found here in North Carolina, some of them are not. So when you're doing your work for Miss Pruitt today, I do not want you going to desert, I do not want you going to polar, and I do not want you going to rainforest. Those are not habitats that we have in North Carolina. And our next magnet unit is all about the habitats of North Carolina and the animals that are found in it. We do have a grassland habitat. We definitely have ocean habitat. We definitely have wetland habitat. And we definitely have woodland habitat. So any of those 4 would be just fine. Now, Miss Pruitt's form said wetland. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on that book and talk to you about some things that you need to know about PebbleGo books, and then show you what you can do for the seesaw activity, and then you can be on your way. So let's go ahead and click on the book. Now, When you come into this book, it's just like any other nonfiction book. There are some text features. We have our title right up here at the top in white, Wetland Animals. Right here, I see wetlands, land and water, insects, waders, and beavers. Those are all the headings for the book. And I can click the pages, move through the pages by clicking on the heading. I can see also that each page has a real photograph to show us what the animal or the habitat really looks like. You should be using your power of observation. Really focus your eyes and notice just take a look at what you see. Right up here, you can click on this and it just takes it so you can only see the picture. And then when you're done, click on that and it brings the text back. Now, one other text feature that I really want you paying attention to are bolded words. Sometimes authors put words in bold because they really want you to know what those words mean. Pebble Go makes it really easy to see because they change the color. And when you move the cursor over it, it underlines it. And if you click on it, once you see that underline, it takes you to the glossary and will tell you what the word means. All you have to do is click on this round yellow button. And you can listen to it as many times as you want until you know what that word means. When you're done, come up to this circle, click on the X, and it'll take you back to the page. What Mrs. Pruitt and all of the first grade teachers want you to do is every time you see a red word, I want you to listen to those so you know what they mean before you listen to the whole page. It will just help with your comprehension and understanding of the book. So I'm going to pretend now I've listened to Shallow and I've listened to Adapted. I can click on this yellow circle and it's going to read the whole page for me. Okay. And I can listen to it as many times as I want to, thinking about the first thing I need to answer on that graphic organizer are what are wetlands? And so I'm going to ask myself, do I know what wetlands are? Well, I think I have an idea of wetlands, but I kind of want some more information. And I see the next heading is land and water. So I'm going to predict that I might get more information about what a wetland is. So I'm going to click on the page and then I'm going to listen to it. And then I'm going to decide, does this page help me know what a wetland is, or should I go back to the first page to figure out and tell Miss Pruitt what I think a wetland is? And I've already read this book a little bit, and I noticed that this book really doesn't tell me anything more about what a wetland is, so I'm going to go back to this page. I can listen to it again if I want to. Now, let's look at the page that she wants you to fill out today. Here's the thing, boys and girls. Sometimes Seesaw gets to be a little picky. You may see this in Seesaw or you may not. And if you don't see this exact thing in Seesaw, you don't have to worry about it and you don't have to stress out. Because I'm going to show you what you can do. And Mrs. Pruitt, Miss Ballard, Miss Suffrage, Miss Geese, and Mrs. Hess are not going to be mad at you if you do what I'm saying you can do. Sometimes we just have to improvise. That means we have to be flexible in our thinking. And for those of you who have heard the book Bubblegum Brain, you know that means we've got to stop and understand that it's okay if it's hard or frustrating and kind of unwrap our brain a little bit so that it can be like a piece of bubble gum and grow and stretch and change shape. So we're going to grab some paper and we're going to do all of the work on the paper. So the first thing that I'm going to do is write the type of habitat that I'm looking at. And right here it says wetlands. So I'm going to write the word wetlands right across the top of my paper. Just like that. And then I'm going to come up and look in this box and it asks the question, what is it? So I'm going to write that on my paper. See, right underneath wetlands, I wrote, what is it? Now, in my own words, I can go back to Pebble Go, listen to this book again, and tell in my own words what a wetland is. I can't copy the sentences word for word from this book. That's something called plagiarism, and it's not okay to do. You need to think about what you're hearing and try to say it in your own words. You can use this text, like if I want to know how to spell shallow, I can use this so I can spell that word correctly, but I can't copy the rest of the water. I have to figure out how can I tell Mrs. Pruitt that the water in wetlands isn't very deep, because that's what shallow means. Oh, maybe I can say the water isn't very deep in wetlands. Means the same thing as shallow water covers them. We just gotta take the information, think about it, and then put it in our own words. So once I get everything done under what is it, and I tell Miss Pruitt what a wetland is, I can come back to this page, and then I can either do what animals live here, or what plants live there, or what are the 3 layers of wetlands. I'm also going to suggest this. If you don't feel like that you got all the information that you need from the Pebble Go book, log into Epic Books and search wetland, and maybe you can get some more information. That would really impress Mrs. Pruitt when she looks at it. All right, let's go back here for a second, because I do want to show you something. If you scroll down to the bottom, right here, where my cursor is, it says PDF article. You can click on this, and then you can print out this book. So if you want to have a paper copy of it, and you have a printer at home, you can do that. Right here, where the pencil is, there are some activities. So if you click on this and hit print, it'll give you an activity to help you understand the book a little better. And then for this book only, and all of the books have a media, sometimes a section, sometimes they have more, sometimes they don't. This one has video. So if you click on it, it's going to show you what a wetland looks like. And there may or may not be sound with it. It's okay if there isn't. But ooh, this is helping me answer that question, what animals live there, because I see an alligator, I see storks. So you can use your powers of observations to answer some of these questions. I hope this helps you be successful with your media activity today. If you need any help, have your mom or dad contact Mr. Warholic or any of the other first grade teachers. I think we should have all sent home yesterday the form so that you can have an office hours with Mrs. Pruitt and Coach Ramel and all the specialist teachers, so you can also do that if you want. Again, I hope this helps. I do want to tell you all, boys and girls, we are really proud of how serious you've been about this and how engaged you've been in your lessons and how flexible you've been in your thinking. We have all been very impressed by you, and we are very proud. See you, love you, bye.